Hello, and today I will be showing you on how to go from a simple design on Fusion 360 or any CAD software you like to a engravable machine part on the benchmill 6100. To start off with, a good rule of thumb is to go with the 3x2 rectangle made out of wax. So you just make your box like this. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you can go with the 1.5, and you can make your full wax cube. As simple as that. And now you can make some patterns on this. So, of course, make a sketch on the box, and then you can offset the outsides, make a nice little inside maybe. Doesn't really matter how thick it is. You can have it to be as thick as the blade, for example, so that way you know it won't like get close to the outside perimeter of your box. So you can use 1/4 inch blade. We have 1 to 5 inch. Let's flip it. Okay. And then you can make some customized holes. So we'll have a hole like right here. Seems good. Same on this side. They don't have to be the exact same. This is just for the fundamentals of going from CAD to machinable part. If you'd like to have some text on here, you can go to Create and make your text. So here I'll have text 6100, and you do have to do a specific font. A good font to go by is Simplex. It goes into these sort of like lines. It makes it easier to export. You can do custom font though. For example, Arial is also another good default. So if we go Arial here, won't really affect anything. Let's center it. Okay, so we have two circles, a nice little box on the inside that we can dig out, and then some text that will rise up. So if we finish our sketch, we can extrude this down 1/2 inch. Okay. It doesn't really matter how. I mean, you're just visualizing it on Fusion or your CAD software. It doesn't really matter how it is right now. You'll extrude this, and then you can to object. Okay. So you've got your text of 6100. So you've got your two circles. I didn't plan this out that good. Change your circles to have another inner diameter. Just for the example of using a hole. Doesn't really matter what size you use, because it will just drill in the circle until it's filled up. And then same over here. Okay, and once you have your two holes, you'll finish your sketches and dig these down. Perfect. We have a wax cube with a nice hollow inside, with two circles popping up with some missing material in the middle and some text. So now we will go to Design, Drawing from Design. You can name it whatever you please. I'm just going to name it Box. You'll save it, and then you'll get a menu on the right side. You'll get a menu on the right side that will show your contents full assembly. In this case, yes, this is the full assembly. Create new from scratch, ASME in inches, and then you'll want custom, and then since this box has got a width of 3 inches, we'll type in 3. It's got a height or a length of 2 inches, so we'll type in 2. Horizontal zones doesn't matter for now, and then we'll click OK. That will bring us to this screen, so we can click cancel for now. We will click on this, we will hit delete, Perfect. Now that we've deleted both, we can go to base view in the top left. Make sure you are at a scale of 1, and then make sure you click top. You'll get this as close as you can. That seems about good. You'll make sure you've got visible edges selected, and you'll click OK. Now you can look at the overlap, and you can make adjustments as needed. So that seems good. Check the other corner. Yep. Okay, you have text, and now you can go to export page, drop down, export sheet as DXF. You can name it whatever you please. So I'll name it box engraving. Click save. And now on to a third-party software that will convert this DXF to an older version of DXF, aka DXF R12. Now, when I convert DXF files, I personally use LibreCAD. I found it to be the best and most accurate. So you can use another software if you prefer it, but this is my personal favorite. You go to File, you go to Open, you will go to wherever you saved it. In this case, I saved it to my downloads folder, and it's there. Okay, perfect. So the text seems to have imported correctly with curves. The circles appear to be fine. So after checking it out, you can simply go to File, Save As, save it to wherever you like. I'm saving it box DXF, as I'll show in a second. Perfect. Save it. I'm saving it to my downloads folder, box DXF, and then this is very important. Save as type. You'll want to do Drawing Exchange DXF R12. If it's not R12, it's most likely not going to work unless if it was just straight lines. In this case, we do have text. So we'll save, and we can go to the IntelliTech software. So now that we're here, you should see a screen somewhat like this once you load in. Of course, my door is closed. I'll go and open that. So you'll start off with this basic block in the corner. If you haven't already set up your machine, you probably should do it now before continuing the rest of this video. So you do have two options. If you had simple straight line traces you want to carve out, then you can go to Design and you can go to CAD. Basically, you'll import your DXF in here. You'll go to the engrave, do selection. You'll go next, make sure you got the right tool bit, so on and so forth. You just follow the screen, and then it'll give you a .nc file. In this case, we're not doing that because we will be doing varying depth levels on the cube. So for this, we will go to Cam. You can full screen the window, and then you can go to View and then Isometric. It'll show you your box. The view panel is very helpful because you can see the depths that it'll be engraving at. So we'll go back to top. We'll import DXF file, get our DXF file, and we will open it. So this took up the entire box, as you could see, which is good. So first, you want to do pocket to deal with the inner part of the box that we engraved, just like you modeled it in your CAD software. We will go to setup, and then you can select your bit. I had a 1/16 bit selected. If you're doing finer detail like text, you're going to want a finer bit. You can do a 1/8 end mill. For now, I'm going to be selecting a 1/16 since we're not going to be worrying about swapping tools in the middle of this run to deal with the massive volume here. So you'll have these values, your X, Y, and Z. The finish is if you want it to go back over its original path to maybe clean up some spots that it struggled with earlier. Your feed rate is how fast it'll go. Your RPM is how fast your spindle is moving. So it's maxed out at 5,000 for the benchmill 6100. The plunge rate is how fast your spindle will dig into the material. So Z rapid is the increments of which it will go down and engrave. So it'll do a pass at 0.5 inches down. It'll carve out everything, and then it'll go back to the starting point, go 0.5 down again, and continue on until it's reached your Z final that you've specified. So you can specify the inside of your box as a good point for now would be at 0.2 inches. But before we continue, we can click OK. You can click OK, that's fine. But here's how to avoid this happening. See, it'll just like, it'll try engraving everything. It'll just destroy everything in here, which you don't want. So we'll click no. Okay, so in order to avoid having everything inside be completely destroyed, you will want to click on the outer boundary on this box. You will hold Shift and highlight everything. Now, before we can click go, you have to, while holding Shift, unhighlight the inner part of the circle. If you highlight the inner part of the circle, it will try to mill in the center of it. So you could do it the same with the 6, or you can keep the 6 the same. You can keep the 6 and the 0 the same since it is just the inside of the text. It'll give it that definition. So now we can stop holding Shift, we can click go, and voila, show your toolpath. You'll make sure everything's right, so nothing in the center here because we want this to be customized to our preference. Same with this. The zeros do have the insides cut out, which is completely fine. If you didn't want the insides cut out and you wanted these at a custom height, then you would do the same you did for these circles. So you'll accept it. And now, if you want to see how deep this goes, you can go to front view and it will show you the layers. So, and if you don't like seeing layers, you can go to the toolpaths in this part of the screen and click visible. It'll hide them away. For now, I'm going to keep them on, but change the color to green. Okay, so now that's just the inside. That's how you use the pocket. Now, we want the inside of these circles to be at a custom depth. So now you want the inside of these circles to be a different height. In this case, we'll shift click both of them. We'll make sure we're in a pocket. We'll go back to setup and we'll change our Z final to something like 0.01 or 0.1. You can change it to whatever you'd like. The method you want for everything here is spiral. As zigzag, it will give you a rougher outside, as the spiral will follow the insides of your circle. So we'll click OK. We'll click Go. As you can see, did the inside perfectly. You click yes, and there you go. You can go to the front view again, and you can see it's at a different height. Now, we can go back to the top, and if you'd like to move your text down a little bit, so that way it's not exactly at the same height as your outer box, go to Pocket. You'll set up your depth, so in this case 0.05, click OK, make sure it's in spiral, and then you can proceed to click the outside of all the text. You'll click Go, click Yes. Now, to make sure that you get everything, you will go back to the operation mode, you'll go to Engrave, highlight everything, make sure your setup is 0.05, and go. This will highlight the outside of your text, so it will cut along your text boundaries. So this makes sure it gets the inside, doesn't miss anything within this gap, no matter how big or small your bit is. If the distance between the lines of your text was smaller than your bit size, you can just use the engrave feature without possibly missing some chunks. So we'll accept it again, and now we can take a look at the view. We can go to front, and we'll see this is our holes, this is our text, and the bottom of the green is the pocket. So now you can see a funky mode in isometric, but you can go to this corner, generate an NC file. You can save it wherever you please, just remember where it is. In this case, I'm saving it back to my downloads as boxdxf.nc. You'll save. Now you can save your project. I won't save it in this case. And now we're back to this preview. We'll go ahead and go to File. We'll go to Open. And we'll find it in our Downloads folder as you saved it. So go ahead and click on it, click Open, and if it doesn't automatically pop into the side, you can go to Window, and you can go to the Run and Edit screen. Now, whenever you go to verify the script to make sure it's exactly to your specifications, you can go to the Verify screen. It'll make this box bigger, and you can go over here and verify. Make sure you've got the right program. You verify program. Now, whenever it auto-generates your code, it will always add a pause into your code. So to bypass, you can either click this green button or you can press F5. As you can see, it is going ahead and engraving everything. It's skipping the text at first, and it proceeds to remove the gaps within the text. To view this process quicker, you can click Verify Faster until it's maxed out. But if it's doing these kind of operations around the text, it will generally be slower. So this will take about 3 times, this is 3 times faster or somewhere around there, as long as it's at max speed, than what it would take to mill out this. So we will wait until this is done verifying. You can click these buttons to get a top-down view of your thing to make sure it's all good. It'll re-verify it as it can't remember its previous state whenever it's moved. So it might take another few seconds. There is a little nippet in the zeros. You can use the contour mode to remove the inside of it, but it's not much of a problem right now. So you have successfully used the CAM software to engrave the box with some text, some circles at custom depths, and now you're ready to run it on the benchmill. like any of your code that you've possibly written by hand, you'll just click run, and as long as you have set the proper 0 position, then it will do exactly this. And that is the end of this tutorial.